Marcus Licinius Crassus was by far the wealthiest Roman citizen of the 1st century BC. Pliny the Elder claimed that his land holdings alone were valued at 200 million sesterces. Crassus had many other assets besides land, but his most valuable were his slaves, who were experts in various professions, such as architecture, various crafts, medicine, education, writing, property management, and thus the Balaci. According to Plutarch, before setting out on the Parthian campaign, Crassus took stock of his wealth. He found that his fortune amounted to 700 talents of silver, equivalent to about 230 tons. Pliny's figure of 200 million sesterces corresponds to this amount of precious metal. Today, Crassus' entire wealth would be worth about $167.3 million, but in ancient times, his purchasing power was considerably higher. If his fortune were recalculated at the prices of more common goods, his wealth would be estimated at no less than $3 billion. It is worth noting that before this, Crassus, according to Pliny, donated a tenth of his property to Hercules, arranged a free reception for the people, providing each Roman with food for 3 months from his own funds. Thus, before going to war, Crassus tried to gain the favor of the gods and popularity with the Roman citizens. The amounts that he previously spent on bribing Roman politicians cannot be estimated, since there is no documentary evidence about them. Crassus's goal in calculating his fortune before the war was not accidental. After the Civil War, Rome had little money in the treasury, and the other triumvirs Caesar and Pompey did not want to spend it on military campaigns. Crassus believed that wealth manifested itself in the fact that one could support a legion on one's annual income. He was forced to pay for the Parthian campaign at his own expense. The annual salary for legionaries was more than 3 tons of silver. In addition, it was necessary to purchase weapons, armor, and necessary supplies. During the first year of the war, Crassus achieved success, capturing several cities in Mesopotamia. However, by winter, the Roman army returned to permanent bases in Syria. The cautious Crassus did not want to spend the winter in the occupied territory, so the campaign of 54 BC can be considered a full-scale reconnaissance in force. To recoup at least some of his expenses, Crassus attacked the sanctuary of the goddess Atargatis aka Derceto, aka Astarte in the city of Hierapolis and the Jerusalem temple, where he obtained 200 talents 6.5 tons of gold. In the spring of 53 BC, Crassus again began the war with Parthia, crossing the border with 7 legions. In May, a fateful clash occurred at Carrhae, where 40,000 Roman infantrymen entered the battle against 10,000 Parthian archers and 1,000 heavy cavalry, called cataphracts, who were completely covered in armor. Although the Parthians failed to break through the Roman line, the Romans suffered serious losses due to the constant shelling and retreated to Carrhae for the night. However, the Romans could not defend this fortress, and they knew it. That night, the entire army escaped, but they could not maintain a unified command. The Parthian cavalry caught up with the fleeing Roman units, separated them and destroyed them individually. Gaius Cassius Longinus, who led 500 Roman horsemen, managed to escape, but the infantry could not keep up with them. Crassus, who had less than 4,000 legionaries left, was forced to negotiate with the Parthian general Surin. When Crassus was asked why the Romans needed to seize foreign lands, he answered, "Wherever there is a dispossessed people, Rome will appear and protect them." The Roman Republic not only conquered foreign territories, but also considered itself a liberator who saved peoples from despots and tyrants. However, the Parthians believed that Crassus was driven by a simple thirst for power. There is a legend that Crassus, who was captured, was forced to drink molten gold to satisfy his voracious appetite. According to Plutarch, Surin wanted to let Crassus go alive and even gave him a horse in precious harness. But suddenly a fight broke out, in which Crassus accidentally killed a simple Parthian soldier. The head and hand of the severed Crassus were sent to the ruler of Parthia, Oroda. Less than 12,000 legionaries from Crassus' 40,000 army managed to escape, 20,000 died, and the rest were taken prisoner and resettled in Margiana, in the territory of modern Turkmenistan. It is assumed that these Romans in 36 BC took part in the Battle of Talas against the army of Han China.